CNN, the CEO is a Trump donor. ABC, the CEO is a Trump donor. CBS, the CEO is a Trump donor. NBC, the CEO, Trump donor. MSNBC, the CEO is a Trump donor. Washington Post, the owner is Jeff Bezos, billionaire. Wall Street Journal, the owner is Rupert Murdoch. The New York Times, the CEO, yes, you guessed it, a Trump donor. Now, the moment for me where it became so obvious that the corporate media was going to cover for Donald Trump and hoist him up, and I'm talking about in this most recent election cycle, was Donald Trump's very first campaign event. Remember where it was held? In Waco, Texas, on the anniversary of the Waco siege, the 30th anniversary. Donald Trump began that event by having Ted Nugent speak. I'll show you what Ted Nugent said in just a moment. Then they played the J6th Choir anthem instead of the national anthem. And then they played QAnon music as Donald Trump spent multiple minutes talking about what a horrible country the United States of America is, and not a peep from the corporate media. Of course, we covered it here at the MeidasTouch network, and I was thinking to myself back then, and you may remember the coverage we did then, I'm thinking, why isn't anybody else covering this? They replaced the national anthem with the J6th anthem by insurrectionists. Donald Trump is talking about how people come up to him and ask him how he puts on his clothes and how it's so impressive he's able to put his pants on. He talks about how he's going to abolish all of these buildings he doesn't like. It was one of the most unhinged things. So let me just share for you what went down so you can see for yourself. This was Trump's campaign kickoff. It began with Ted Nugent saying this about President Zelensky. Play this clip.
I want my money back. I didn't authorize any money to Ukraine to some homosexual weirdo. I want my money back.
Not a peep from the media. Then Ted Nugent went on and said this before Donald Trump took the stage. Play the clip.
Jackbooted thugs by Uncle Sam who defy their oath to the Constitution and arrest Americans and do not allow them constitutional rights. A moment of silence for the political prisoners in the gulags of Washington, D.C. because of jackbooted thugs in our own government. I'm a guitar player. I have a couple demands. Secure my border! I have a couple really good ideas. Give me my tax dollars back. I didn't authorize killing babies at Planned Parenthood. I want my tax dollars back.
Not a peep from the media. Then Donald Trump took the stage and he started calling Stormy Daniels a horseface over and over again. Play this clip.
You know, Marjorie is here, Truth to Vote, and they found at least 5 million instances on tape, and the courts didn't want to even look at it. The District Attorney of New York, under the auspices and direction of the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C., was investigating me for something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor, not an affair. I never liked horseface. It's just not. It's a terrible thing. That wouldn't be the one. There is no one. We have a great First Lady.
Then Donald Trump said that the Supreme Court did not have the courage to right the wrong of the 2020 election, threatening the Supreme Court. But obviously those threats apparently work with this weak right-wing Supreme Court. Play this clip.
But the Supreme Court is afraid, just like Republicans are afraid, to do something about what has happened. And they have to fight. The Supreme Court didn't have the courage to right the wrong of the 2020 election. They knew what was going on. Tax returns were always considered sacred. Lawyers, in their own way, if you can believe this, were considered sacred. Today, lawyers go before grand juries all over this place, if they happen to be lawyers representing Republicans, and they treat lawyers like they're criminals. It used to be if you had a lawyer, the lawyer was somebody that was very much considered from the standpoint of what we're talking about above reproach. Now they get thrown in with everybody else, and it's a very unusual situation that's taking place. And again, legal scholars can't believe what they're witnessing.
Then Donald Trump claimed at that speech that he won in 2016 and claims that he won in 2020, but that the election was rigged. Play this clip.
Through the roof. I guess you've seen that. They don't like it. They don't like it. We won in 2016. We won by much more in 2020, but it was rigged.
And again, when the media is not calling him out about lying about the 2020 election, that right there should be absolutely disqualified. The media didn't even give any energy to it, yet alone what they're doing to President Biden right now. Why? Go back to that event and think about it. Why were they silent? Because they wanted to hoist him up. For them, this is ratings gold, and that's what they wanted to talk about over and over again. Here, Donald Trump is bragging how a man who's famous, he said, asked him about how he puts his clothing on. Play this clip.
People can imagine. I had a man come up to me, a very famous man. Almost everybody probably would have heard of him, a businessman. I saw him about 2 weeks ago. He said to me, could I ask you, I'd never even liked him very much, to be honest, but he did say it. He said, could I speak to you for a second? Yeah. Mr. President, I'd like to ask you one question. How do you take it? I said, take what? How do you take the abuse? How do you wake up in the morning and put on your clothing? How do you put on a shirt? Every single day there. If that ever happened to me, I think I wouldn't know what to do.
Then Donald Trump praised Putin and Xi. Play the clip.
I used to talk to Putin. I got along well with Putin. I used to talk to Putin about it. It's something he certainly had in his mind. Never even talked about it. For 4 years, you didn't even hear about it. As soon as I was out or left, or however you want to describe that catastrophe, they started putting soldiers on the border. But even then, he didn't want to do it. He wanted to get a peace. Now it looks like he'll end up probably getting the whole thing. But I've never seen anything like it, what's happened. And if you saw the other day with President Xi, smart, top of his game. President Putin, smart, very smart people, standing there talking about the world order for the next 100 years. That's one of the saddest things you can imagine, one of the saddest.
Donald Trump then talked about how we need babies, he said. Play this clip.
We will support baby bonuses, so many people like that, for the new baby boom that will be coming. We need babies. All of this is...
He then attacks the United States of America to QAnon music in the background. Play this clip.
A nation where once revered airports are dirty. They're a crowded mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave. And they have no idea when it will, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't seek qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they are doing.
And again, not a peep from the media. In fact, on the right-wing media, though, they were talking about what a great speech it was, and specifically that Ted Nugent was channeling what Americans feel, they said. Play this clip.
Exactly. His remarks, amazing, about Zelensky and I want my money back. He is channeling what a lot of Americans feel, not just at the rallies, but I suspect some of the real Americans we'll talk to in a minute, and people at home who are streaming this live, who are undoubtedly cheering along with Ted Nugent. And when he...
Then they went into the audience and we saw the type of people who were there. Here is a January 6th prisoner, Mickey Larson Olson, a MAGA supporter. Again, the corporate media wants to normalize people like Mickey as though this is something normal that happens in America. Play this clip.
Voice from our collective voice, our government of we the people, of the people, by the people, for the people, is also a terrorist. And if they're an American citizen, they are a traitor. They made the decision that we the people no longer have a right to govern ourselves. I'm a proud digital soldier, Proxmanian, and January 6, 2021, inmate number 376303. I was given the max sentence of 180 days for unlawful entry public I served 161 days in Washington, D.C. Correctional Treatment Facility, a.k.a. jail, from 30 September 22 through 9 March 23. We, the people, are ready to fight. Diamonds are coal under pressure. Be the diamond, and never let anyone or anything dull your shine. Shine like the brightest star you are. The best is yet to come. Justice will be served. Where we go one, we go all, is how we make tyranny fall. Patriots, it's time to stand tall. We're ready to fight. We're ready to fight. It's come time for us to fight for the U.S. of A. To show those terrorists that they will pay. Some time for us to fight for our great land. We need to fight for the good of all, because there are so many that are truly appalled. We have a nation that is exceptionally great. The ones that did this are full of hate. They have no idea how strong we are. We're even stronger now, stronger by far. We won't hide behind closed doors. We won't do that anymore. Yes, we will be more aware. What they did just wasn't fair. As a member of the United States Air Force, if the president asked me to go to war, I have only one answer. Yes, sir, of course. I can do this, you see, because this country means so much to me.
But what I want to say is this, which is that there's still about 120 days until the election. We, the people, can do something about this. And what we, the people, should not do is panic. We, the people, should channel our outrage, and we should recognize what's going on. We should share these videos, and we should let people know what's up, because I don't want that running our country at all. What I want is, here's President Biden calling the new Prime Minister of the UK yesterday, Prime Minister Starmer, to congratulate him. This is normalcy. Play this clip.
This is the White House Situation Room, getting to connect Prime Minister Starmer to President Biden. You are now connected to Air Force One.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, congratulations. What a hell of a victory. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been a long night and day. I've been busy appointing my cabinet during the course of this afternoon. So thank you very much for your congratulations. And fortuitously, we will see each other next week. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in Washington and having the opportunity, obviously, to sit down properly.
I'm looking forward to it as well. There's no doubt that under your leadership, our two countries are going to continue our special relationship. We're working together just about every issue, supporting Ukraine, managing the competition with China, advancing cooperation in the Indo-Pacific with AUKUS.
Firstly, the special relationship is obviously the bedrock, always has been, for our defence, for our security and prosperity, which obviously is central to our missions for government.
By the way, despite the fact that the media wants to push all these ridiculous narratives, take a look at what some undecided Georgia voters actually said about the debate. Play the clip.
What do you think was more truthful at the debate?
It was absolutely Biden.
I think Biden was more truthful.
It was over 30 lies that Trump said. And I realized that I think he just continues to spit rhetoric just to keep you discombobulated.
After the debate, who do you trust more to run this country?
I mean, if I had to choose a person just strictly based off the debate, then of course it would be Biden.
And there was a lot of lack of care for the American people from Trump. I feel like if you're going to be our president again, you have to represent all of us and be inclusive as well, and that was not there.
I don't think that Trump has been a great example of leadership in business or in just human decency.
Do you all think this was one bad night for Biden, or is this beyond repair?
Time will tell.
I don't think it's beyond repair for Biden.
So do any of you think Biden should drop out?
I don't think he should drop out because he is just a better human being than any other option that we have.
So at this point, drop out and replace him with who? He has momentum going, and if Biden drops out at this point, I think it's just a lose for the entire party.
Because last we spoke, you said, I'm going to watch this debate, and I think that's going to help me. Did it help you get any closer to deciding on a candidate?
I mean, it helped me to X out one a bit more.
And who would that be?
That would be Trump.
So while polls are all over the place, and I don't like to fixate and focus on polls, at the end of the day, you have in the morning consult poll that we heard all about, you've got Biden's margin growing by 4% in Michigan and 4% in Wisconsin because Americans are now paying attention to the race. And they're not buying the corporate media narrative. Oh, President Biden's old and stutters, so therefore let's take the fascist. Let's take the fascist who wants to overthrow our democracy. What are you talking about? The American people get what's up, but it's critical that we share these videos, that we share this so people know what's going on. That was Trump's kickoff event. Waco, Texas, 30th anniversary, Waco siege. He was sending a message about the fascism he's trying to bring here to this country. We should not allow that to ever happen. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.